Look what I did today. I love pumpkins. Hello creative souls, and welcome to this week's video, where today I thought I would do some mixed media pumpkins. I wasn't sure how to go about this. First of all, I was going to do some soft pastel pumpkins, then I was going to do some watercolour pumpkins, but then I thought I would do some mixed media pumpkins because, let's face it, we're heading towards the end of October and pumpkins have been done. However, I needed to feel a little bit inspired today. So I looked through Pixabay and I looked through Unsplash, and I found some beautiful royalty-free images of pumpkins. Plus I bought one down in Cornwall last week, which featured very briefly in one of my videos. And I think I can't get to the end of October and not paint some pumpkins. So stick around for a messy mixed media pumpkin fest in my Pith Ora Blanco sketchbook. Before I get started, I just wanted to show you my desk. So I have filled up this container with nice fresh water. I'm using my acrylic gouache, or is it gouache acrylic, whichever way around it is. I'm using these. I've got some Stabilo woodies, I've got some Faber-Castell oil pastels, I've got my Neocolor 2s, I've got some Shuttle Art Tempera paint sticks, I've got some acrylics for the background and a selection of paintbrushes for my acrylics. And then on my computer screen I have found this lovely picture of some pumpkins. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find a fresh page in my Pith Ora Blanco. There we go. That's the next double page, because I think I might go across the middle. So grab yourselves a cup of tea and join me for this mixed media pumpkin fest. Oh, and look, I've got a little pumpkin here hanging on my lamp. There he is, very cheerful. He's happy this morning. Happy pumpkins. Okay, it's a rather windy day today, so I'm being up in the attic. The wind is buffeting against the roof and the windows, so you can probably hear that in the background, but as far as I'm concerned, that makes it all the more cozy. And I'm just looking at my colours here for the background, and I think I want a buff titanium, so bear with. I'm just going to go and get that. Buff titanium or peach pink? No, buff titanium it is. So for the background, I'm going to go in with buff titanium. I think I'm going to go in with a bit of this peachy colour. What's that? Naples yellow red. And I think, let me just move my light up so you can see better. I think, I know the picture I'm looking at is like on a tabletop, but I think I'm going to do mine on the ground. So I'm just going to really do a loose background. I'm going to spray some water on. I'm going to use my biggest brushes, and I'm just going to go for it. background done, and now I've got to wait for it to dry. So what do you do whilst you're waiting for your painting to dry? I'm going downstairs to empty my waste paper bin. I say waste paper bin, it's got all sorts in there. Anyway, I'm going to go and sort that out. So the question I asked you is, what do you do whilst you're waiting for paint to dry? And I have just cleaned the toilets, just done the washing, just done a bit of hoovering. And I thought I would do a couple of pieces of this beautiful puzzle. My mum started it and now I've got to finish it. So I'm going to have 5 minutes doing some of my puzzle. Okay, back in the art room now. Is it dried? Oh, it doesn't look like, ugh. Not quite. I think I might run the heat tool over this. Okay, that's drier than it was. Not totally dry, but that'll do. I've put a couple of clips on, and now I'm going to do 3 pumpkins, I think. Nothing too accurate. It's going to be loose. It's going to be messy. So I'm going to mark out roughly with this chunky pencil where they're going to be, and so I'm going to have sort of a smaller one here, and then another one. I might have an odd shaped one. I don't need to copy the photo, do I? Let's have an odd shaped one. You sort of get those ones that are more shaped like butternut squash. Well, if you don't, you do now. And then I'm having another one here. Oh, that didn't go too well like that. Good job it's not going to be a masterpiece, isn't it? Like so, and then I'll have a little stalk coming off like that. We'll have another stalk coming off of here, and then we'll have, should we have a stalk going this way? Long one like that. Okay, so I'm going to use a round brush. This is size 24, it says. Doesn't look like it to me, but anyway, I've got my gouache here on the side, the acrylic gouache. I'm just going to hopefully wake those up with some water. I think you can wake these up with water, I'll soon find out. But I'm just going to put a base colour down, not too much detail, and then I'm going to go over the top with various mediums, she says, pointing with her paintbrush. Oh, I don't know what's wrong with me today. Right, okay, I am going to speed you up. As I said last time, I've got to stop repeating myself, and I've noticed that in my videos I say a lot of which I edit out. So I'm going to try not to say them, then there's less editing. Anyway, let's crack on. Right, that's my base layer for my pumpkins down. I'm just going to wait for those to dry and then I'm going to go over them with some various mixed media. I'll be back after lunch. Okay, I am back after having some lunch. This is dry. So that's my initial bottom layer. And where I put the thick brown acrylic paint on the bottom here, it was hard to actually cover it up. It sort of comes through in the pumpkins a bit. But that's okay because we live and learn, don't we? That's what our sketchbooks are all about. So now I'm going to put some details over the top, I think. I've got my Stabilo woodies, I've got my gouache sticks, I've got some acrylic ink, my Neocolor 2s, and as I said earlier, my Faber-Castell oils. So I am going to sit here and just work away. Do you know, I never script these videos. I know roughly what I'm going to do, but I don't know what I'm going to say. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not, to be honest with you. I think it depends what your message is. And if you have a message that you want to give out that needs to be scripted, then fab. But to be honest with you, I just want a laid back art session. I don't want it to be too serious. I just want to enjoy doing art and sharing that joy with you. That brings me to the end of this week's video. Let me show you my final piece, which I'm really pleased with. There we go. Mixed media pumpkins. Using acrylics, acrylic gouache, or gouache acrylic, I don't know which way around it is. Tempera sticks, Neocolor 2s, Woody Stabilos and Daler Rowney ink. It was a really nice, fun session. So I guess there's never enough pumpkins, is there? It's such a brilliant subject to paint. And recently I've watched 2 videos and they both painted pumpkins as well, and they were pretty special pumpkins. So if you get a chance, check out Zoe White Art and also Cyranu Eve Art. I will leave the links to their art channels in the description below. So it leaves me to ask you, if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel, give me a like, leave me a comment. I always reply to them. I love receiving your comments. And let me know if you've managed to paint any pumpkins this Halloween. Thank you for watching.